A Russian strike on the southeastern Ukrainian city of Zaporizhzhia late on Thursday, November 20th, has left 5 people dead and 3 others injured, according to regional governor Ivan Fedorov. The attack, carried out using what Ukrainian officials say were guided bombs, hit residential areas, and sparked multiple fires. Emergency crews were deployed within minutes, battling flames and working through the night to evacuate injured civilians from damaged buildings. Governor Fedorov had issued a warning earlier in the day, telling residents that intelligence reports pointed to an imminent threat. He urged people to stay indoors, avoid crowded areas, and monitor official alerts. Despite those warnings, several homes and small businesses were hit before people could reach safe shelters. Video shared by local authorities showed rescue workers sifting through debris, carrying survivors to ambulances, and attempting to stabilize structures at risk of collapsing. The strike is another reminder of how deeply the conflict continues to affect daily life in Ukraine. As the war approaches its 4th year, many communities remain vulnerable to sudden bombardments, even far from the shifting front lines. Electricity, heating, and water systems in the region have already been disrupted multiple times, and local officials warn that winter will be especially difficult if attacks on infrastructure continue at the current pace. Nearly 4 years after President Vladimir Putin ordered tens of thousands of Russian troops into Ukraine, the front line remains highly active. Russian forces have been slowly pushing forward, capturing small but tactically important positions, and now control roughly 19% of Ukrainian territory. Moscow maintains that 4 regions, Donetsk, Luhansk, Kherson, and Zaporizhzhia, have been legally incorporated into the Russian Federation following referendums dismissed by Kyiv and Western governments as illegitimate. Ukraine and its allies insist they will never recognize the territorial claims and call the occupation a clear violation of international law. The regions claimed by Russia are central to the conflict. Donetsk and Luhansk, which together form the historic Donbass industrial heartland, have seen some of the most intense fighting since 2014. Kherson and Zaporizhzhia, located in southern Ukraine, are strategically valuable for their access to the Black Sea and for hosting important energy infrastructure, including the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, the largest in Europe. International observers have repeatedly raised concerns about safety risks at the plant, which remains under Russian control. In June 2024, Putin publicly outlined what he described as the core conditions for ending the war. He demanded that Ukraine formally renounce its plans to join the NATO military alliance and withdraw its troops from the entirety of the 4 regions Moscow claims as its own. The Russian president said these steps were essential for what he called a lasting peace, framing them as non-negotiable prerequisites rather than starting points for broader discussions. Kyiv rejected the proposal within hours, saying the conditions amounted to a call for unilateral surrender. Ukrainian officials argue that accepting such terms would not only abandon millions of citizens living under occupation, but also encourage further aggression by rewarding territorial conquest. Western nations agreed, saying the demands made by Moscow would undermine the principles of sovereignty and security in Europe. Diplomatic efforts to broker a ceasefire have produced little progress in recent months. Negotiations remain stalled due to the wide gap between the 2 sides' positions. Ukraine insists that any resolution must include the restoration of its internationally recognized borders, while Russia insists that the 4 regions in question are now part of its territory and not subject to negotiation. Analysts say that without a major shift on the battlefield or a dramatic political change, the conflict is likely to grind on. For residents of places like Zaporizhzhia, that uncertainty translates into everyday hardship. Schools regularly shift between in-person and remote classes, depending on the security situation. Air raid sirens remain a routine part of daily life, sometimes sounding multiple times a day. Many families have been displaced more than once, moving from one part of the region to another as bombardments intensify. Humanitarian groups working in the area warn that continued attacks will strain already limited resources. Medical facilities are dealing with shortages of staff, equipment, and emergency vehicles. Volunteers say mental health support is becoming as crucial as physical aid, particularly for children who have lived most of their lives under the threat of war.
Welcome to Money Control, your ultimate destination in the ever-evolving world of finance, business, markets, policy, and technology. India's preeminent news platform, driven by facts and fueled by data. A platform made in India, and for the world. Moneycontrol.com has a staggering reach of 100 million plus monthly active users and 6.02 million daily active users. Being a transformative digital force, reshaping how we engage with money, markets, and news. Setting us apart is our commitment to delivering accurate information and empowering financial decision-making in a dynamic ecosystem. Seeking a deeper dive into the financial realm, we present Money Control Pro, a powerhouse of exclusive insights, providing actionable investment ideas and expert analysis. Because in today's fast-paced world, informed decisions demand both information and expertise. And we have 1 million plus Money Control Pro total paid subscribers and 100% return in 1.5 years, beating the market. Explore market trends, access expert opinions, and utilize essential financial tools all at your fingertips. Join the millions who trust Moneycontrol.com for their financial journey, where facts meet finance and data drives decisions. Think markets, think Money Control.